Greetings, fellow guitar players. Today, I wanted to offer some tips on organizing your picking. I've never met a guitar player that doesn't have some kind of problem with the pick. It really can be a pain in the ass, the pick. And the reason is often, we don't think about it enough. We don't figure out how, or at least get organized. So I'm going to show you ways to get organized. It's interesting that a lot of guitar players, when I have private lessons, I can get someone to do this single note tremolo, and I'm always surprised how fast they can do a tremolo, right? And I said, well, okay, if you can do that really fast, if you were to attach, moving notes to that, you'd be ripping. So, some reason when it moves into moving notes, the speed and the elegance of the alternate disappears. It should be the same whether you're playing a tremolo or moving notes. See what I mean? So it should be logically the same. I know for me, I was listening to other instruments too. I think that somehow was for me the mother of invention, because I know that when I listen to a guitar, if someone's playing a D chord, I know which fingers they're using. Just heard this chord a million times, and so I know it's that position, these fingers. So I have a preconceived idea of what's being played on the guitar, and that's true for certain strings and phrases that I've heard on guitar a lot. But when you listen sometimes to a piano player or a saxophone player or any instrument that you fancy to listen to, there is no preconceived idea of where to play the notes. You only have the information, the notes, but you don't actually have a place you can play them. And I remember, learning some chitarra arpeggios. I remember this fourth one. I loved that arpeggio. It's so beautiful. 3/4. It's like a G triad over an A bass. I had to find a way to play this. There was no idea of how to play those notes on the guitar. And it's like, even when you have adjacent notes, if you had one note on each of 3 strings, why on earth would you want to alternate pick that? That makes no sense. Why wouldn't you go or backwards that way, up or down a single stroke? To me, I went with the logic, because sweeping makes so much logical sense to me. It's a beautifully elegant way to get organized. And so I tried to avoid situations where I was maybe playing an upstroke on a D string and a downstroke on a G. Those are the kind of twisty things that get you all locked up on a guitar. And I know that a lot of people went, screw the pick. It had ended up more in people's mouths. They went to tapping, which is great, and hammer-ons. Those are all valid techniques. To me, I always say it really doesn't matter how you play the notes so long as you do. So whatever technique you choose, it doesn't really matter. As long as you get organized one way or the other, or mix them in a way that you can be happy with, right? So I always thought a good alternate picking is always important. So learn to tremolo on different strings, maybe even a chromatic scale. is always a good idea. Those are good to practice to get the alternate really locked in. Now, let me show you why I love sweeping so much. Here's a little lick I'm going to show you today. I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 notes, and I'm only picking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I'm playing 13 notes and I'm picking 5 times. Logical. So, one stroke for the C triad, up an A minor triad, down a D triad, one stroke, B minor triad, one stroke, ending on an upstroke there. Another mistake people make with sweep picking is they try to practice it slow. Think about this. This is not a technique that works slow. The whole idea of sweeping is to play it fast. It's a fast technique. So it's like 5th and 6th gear of your car. You wouldn't start from a stop position in 5th gear of your car. You would probably start in 1st gear. So, you know, when I'm playing slow, I'm picking like anyone else would. Alternate, maybe a few hammer-ons, a bent. But then I'll kick into that extra gear. So mixing it up in different various techniques. For me, it's mostly alternate mixed with sweep, and that works for me. But whatever it is you do, get organized, get the pick in line, whether it's going to be a solid alternate, and I find that alternate is always an important technique to have. And if you care to, mix it with sweep. Hope you've had fun listening to this technique tip today. Please feel free to check out my online guitar school at frankgambaleguitarschool.com, and please subscribe for more tips like this. See you soon. Frank Gambale saying, see you later.